welcome back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. It's kind of a blustery, overcast day today. It's February, but you wouldn't know it to look at it. It's going up to 10 degrees today, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it really should be about minus 10 in the middle of February, which is about 14 Fahrenheit if this were a normal year, but it isn't. It is extremely mild. I don't even have my winter coat on, but I did want to show you something really cool in the garden. Now, what I wanted to show you was not Water World back here. You can see that it has really flooded back where I put the tarps for the new section of the garden this year coming. But that's because we had quite a bit of snow and then warm temperatures that melted it all, and the ground is still frozen, and it's also heavy clay here, so we don't have great drainage anyway, which is why I use raised garden beds here. But this is ridiculous. We could have gone skating on this, forget the pond. But it will drain away as the ground thaws, but boy, what a mess. But what I did want to show you was this. Those of you who've been following me know that I tried an experiment last fall where I used glass cloches to try and extend my lettuce harvest, especially when the price of lettuce went so high. And then I brought them in when the ground froze, and we had, like I said, a lot of snow. We had at least a foot of snow down here. We also had minus 24 degrees Celsius weather. And look what has survived in the garden. Under all that snow and with freezing temperatures, my lettuce is still alive. You can see the circles where I had the cloches. And this stuff just is still alive and is just waiting for a bit of warmth to start growing. It's incredible that this lettuce could survive freezing temperatures. This is a variety called Butter Crunch. I'm going to dig out my old seed packet to see if there was anything special in the description, because this is the hardiest lettuce I have ever seen. And once again this year I'm going to collect my own seed, because if it can survive this winter, boy, it could survive just about anything. Now those lettuce plants, for those of you who are watching, you know that those self-seeded from the lettuce that had been in that spot this summer. But over here, I actually planted some lettuce seeds under a glass cloche. They sprouted, but didn't do much more than that as the temperatures got cold. I took the cloche off, and they were covered in snow, freezing temperatures, and they're still alive. And here's another survivor. This is my parsley. Again, no protection, wasn't covered with anything. You could still take that and eat that right now. It looks great. Now over here in the garden by the red door are some more survivors, but these are expected to survive, but they're already growing, which is kind of not good, I don't think. These are my onion chives. And these are the garlic chives. But this right here, I think that's some garlic I forgot to pull. And so I'm getting free garlic again this year. And here's another one. You know, every year I think I have dug up all the garlic, and every year I'm wrong. So as you can see, I had to quickly jump inside because it was starting to rain and I didn't want that on the camera. So I had to cut short my tour around the garden to see what was surviving the freezing Canadian temperatures. So that was a little disappointing. But then when I got in, I thought, well, you know what? There are a few things I can do to move my garden forward, and I thought I'd bring you along while I do those today. So one of the first things I want to do is to pot up some of these seeds that I've pre-sprouted. Now, I did my onions, which had a phenomenal germination rate. They were new seed. I think there were only 2 seeds out of maybe 110 that did not sprout, so that's pretty exciting. So then I started some leek seeds and some celery seeds. Now, the celery seeds are tiny, but they're looking great. The leek seeds, some of them have sprouted, but it's not really a high rate. Now, these are not new seeds. I'm trying to think of how old they are. They might even be a couple of years old. So what I want to do is I want to pot up the ones that have sprouted to give them room to really get going, and then I'll just continue to watch the other ones. So I won't have a lot of leeks to pot up, but quite a few of the celery seeds have sprouted. So I'm going to also pot them up. Now I'm going to be using the paper cups for these, for the same reason I put the onions in paper cups, and that's because these are going to have to sit in pots for quite a while before I can put them in the garden. And these last a lot better than using, say, my soil blocks or the newspaper pots. The newspaper pots would be okay, but they're bigger than I need. So I'm just going to use the paper cups today for these seeds. So I don't know exactly how many have sprouted, but I've prepared quite a few little pots. So the soil is pre-moistened. I haven't labeled them yet because I don't know how many I'm going to use, but I'm going to start with my leeks. So only about 10. That's pretty bad, but we'll take them. We'll get these ones started growing and hope that some more germinate. Next, I'm going to work on the celery. Now these are really tiny. I'll put a few in each pot because I'll separate them out when I go to plant them in the garden. But these have done pretty well. You know, I'm just going to put them all in. They are so tiny, but it's good to know whether or not your seeds are germinating. Like with the leeks, if I had just planted them in the ground, I would have no idea if they were just late coming up or whether the seed was no good. This way, I can tell whether I need to go buy more seed or not. The next thing I'm going to do is very exciting. Those of you who are watching me stratify my tree seeds know that I planted out some of the seeds I had already stratified for my eastern white cedars. And look how well they've done. What amazed me the first time I potted up the cedars is how deep the roots are. So I'm going to transplant the ones that have sprouted into some of my cups because they need a lot of room for their roots. So I'm going to make a nice deep hole in here. Now these were soil blocks, but as I've mentioned, sometimes the soil blocks break apart. You can see here where that root is. It's already coming out of the soil block. So I'm going to make a nice big hole in there. And in you go. So I'm just going to leave these a bit longer and pot them up when they're just a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, there's one there. 1, 2, 3. Might be another one there. So I'm gonna wait till they're a little bigger and pot them up. But right now I have 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them. I think that's great. The last thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to start pre-sprouting some of my pepper seeds. Now, pepper plants do take a long time to grow. And here in Zone 5B, I need them to be as large as possible when I plant them into the garden in May, because I need a lot of time for that fruit to set, the nice hot weather. We don't have a lot of it. So in order to get them to set big enough fruit, I like to have them large. So I start them fairly early, earlier than my tomatoes and other vegetables, other than the cold weather leeks and onions. So today I am going to pre-sprout some seeds. Now I have a nice variety of pepper seeds here. These are the royal black pepper seeds that I collected from the plant that grew. Now that plant came from this mix. So I didn't have a package that was strictly royal black. So when it grew, and we really liked the taste of them in salsa and in chili and that, I saved the seeds from some. I hope they haven't cross-pollinated. I tried to pick some that were farthest away from any other plants down at the bottom. So it's a bit of a gamble, but I think it might pay off. So I am going to start some of the royal black. And these are just green bell peppers that I took from a pepper I bought at the store. So we're going to see if that works. That's a bit of an experiment. I am going to start a few more of these mixed hot pepper seeds. So these are mixed hot. Now I've had this package for I think 3 years now. I don't know what the germination rate will be like at this point, which is why I'm happy to pre-sprout them. But it is always fun to see what kind of peppers you get. We've had serranos, we've had the royal black, we've had hot banana peppers. I think we had habaneros once too. So you can't guarantee what you'll get, but it's fun to grow. So I'm going to try some of those. I've got lots of packs of just green peppers. This one is a mixed bell pepper, so I'm going to start some of those because you can get, we've had black, we've had orange, we've had yellow. So I'm going to do some more of those. And then this is Big Jim chili, so chili peppers. I'll probably start a few of those. So these are the different varieties. I'm going to stratify them in different little cells, and I don't really want to put tape on them so I can reuse these cells for other plants, but I will keep track of what's in what on this list here. So as long as I don't mix up the order, I'll be able to tell what kind of pepper seeds they are. My tower of peppers. There we go. Okay. So that's not bad work for today. I have about 10 leeks potted up, 2 little pots of my celery seeds, 13 eastern white cedars are potted up, and I have my tower of pepper seeds ready to go in a warm, dark spot. So I will have some lovely pepper plants to plant out when we can finally get into our garden. Next week, I should be able to break dormancy on at least 2 of the tree seeds that I've been stratifying. From what I've been reading, the Colorado blue spruce and the balsam fir don't need a deep, heavy dormancy. They have a shallow dormancy. It can be broken at around 30 days. Next week it will be 30 days. So I think what I'll do is I will plant out only some of them, and I'll kind of do an experiment to see what the best germination rate is. Is it after 30 days? Is it after 45 days? The flowering dogwood and the sugar maples need a longer time to sleep, so I'm going to have to wait with them, but I'm very excited to get the tree seeds planted and see if they come up. I've already had great success with my eastern white cedars. I'm so happy to have them because I want to plant them around the property. They're a lovely tree around here in the winter because they give you privacy. They don't shed their leaves, so you know, you have greenery and privacy through the winter. There are lots of spots I would like to put them. So I'm very excited to have this many germinate and planted. I have my pepper seeds pre-sprouting, getting ready to plant them, and some leeks and celery put in the pots. My onions upstairs are doing well. So even though I can't get out in the garden, at least I can do some gardening, and that feels really good in this sort of short daylight cold month of February. So I hope you join me next week when I start those tree seeds. Bye for now.